kind of a day was it when you got here?
Oh, it was 90 in the shade.
How did that feel?
It felt good.
Did it?
It didn't feel too good to me because I had a big overcoat on, believe it or not, and I took it off fast. Well, my uncle, and he had a girlfriend, they get them that do. He took me and dressed me from head to foot with American clothes, and blue pants, and these red and white, what do you call them, brogues.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, jeez, I looked like $1 million. And we had a dance then the following week. And do you know who the dancers were? It was a going away party for, Jesus, I don't know. I forget who it was now anyway. What I sweated, I was soaking wet.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. There was no air conditioning around then, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of my...
When you were thinking about coming to the United States, what did you expect it to be like before you got here?
Oh, I thought the streets would be paved with gold.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I had an idea too, you know.
Yeah. And when it got here, what was your first impression of it?
I thought it was great, to be honest with you. You know, well, the big thing was I was able to mix in with our own kind of people, you know. That was a big help to me, you know, when I came to Bridgeport and I found out we go to Seaside Park where all the Irish were down there with hurling and kicking football.
Yeah.
And stop at Maloney's pub with a few cold ones on the way up.
on Arniston Avenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, jeez, man.
Yeah. It was close to where my grandparents lived. Did it take you much time to adjust?
Oh, not that long, not that. Oh, I'll tell you what happened. I got a dose of boils, and it almost killed me. Oh, geez, that was the change of food, you know, and the change of climate, I guess. But I was in an awful way with it. I had a big one in my stomach. It was as big as a golf ball.
You don't hear about those much anymore.
This Catherine Gilhooley, she was just she died recently too. She was from Leitrim. She was messing around down Seaside Park. She jumped down on top of me and landed right in the boil, and it busted. Oh, Jesus, I'm telling you. It was all right, though. I enjoyed it. I've been very lucky in this country, to be honest with you. You know, I met my wife over in Pleasure Beach.
I was going to ask you that.
Yes, and...
What was her maiden name?
McCarthy.
McCarthy.
Her uncle, Bill McCarthy, he was a policeman down in the corner of John and Main.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, he knew them all. Used to be directing the traffic, back and forth. Somebody gave him a hard time, and he says, "What do you think I am, a windmill?"
And you met her at Pleasure Beach.
Yeah.
What was Pleasure Beach? Did it have anything special there?
Oh, it had all the merry-go-rounds and what's the other things they used to call them?
Or the roller coaster?
The roller coaster. Oh, that was, you know, it was a super place.
And did they have a ballroom there too?
They did too, oh yes. They had a big ballroom, but they let everything go. It was a shame, you know. We used to go over on the bus. You know what was nice about it, you know, you got on the bus. Geez, by the time you got to your destination, you know about 15 or 20 Irish. They were all taking the bus, you know.
Taking it with you, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't, then the cars came into being, you know.
So when did you and Nora get married? When were you married?
Oh, gee, when?
November 12th, 1949.
When was it?
November 12th, 1949.
Oh, yeah, November 12, 1949, yeah.
Yep. And now you have how many children?
4.
4. And what are their names?
And Tommy, and Michael, Danny, and Joanne.
And Joanne. Okay. And do you have grandchildren now too?
I have many, 4.
4, and 1 great-grandchild.
1 great-grandchild. I'm an old stager, Peg.
Hey, you're a good man there, Todd.
I don't know how good I am, but...
No priests or nuns or in the
Oh,
family?
no.
No? Nobody in the family?
Somebody said to me one time, how come there were so many in the family that you didn't have a priest? I said that my father wouldn't make a priest out of one of us. Gee, he said he would too, but he didn't want to have a rogue in the family.
What did you miss most when you got here? What did you most miss in Ireland?
I didn't miss anything actually, because like I said, I left Ireland early, and at the time it was right after World War II, and it was impossible to get a job anywhere. There was, and when you're at my age, we're always looking for a few shillings to spend or whatever it was. And I made a promise that if I ever go to work anywhere, it's going to be where there is money. And that's why there was big money in the coal mines. And there was great money in the steel mill too. That's why I stayed there, all these years.
Yeah.
I done a lot of moonlighting too, It was every racket they were in, we was in it,
That's the Irish, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody.
I wasn't lazy,
I wouldn't think so. How did you keep in touch with your family back home?
I used to write once in a while, we did. Maybe once every 3 months we'd write. My mother was alive,
And did they write back to you too?
Oh yeah. Then my sister, Bridie, she's married to Joe McCormick. She was the one came out after me, She was in England when I was in England.
And how about Anne?
Oh, they came later.
They came later.
They all came and stayed at your house.
Oh,
They came
were.
to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We kept them all.
That's what it was all about too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mystery in itself.
So a good thing. That was a good thing. Didn't there used to have to be somebody here for people to come out like around?
Oh, there was. Oh, my aunt. I had my aunt and uncle. They brought me out. That's what I said. The difference with the immigration today. Jesus, if you had got a summons for not having a light on your bicycle in Ireland, if the sergeant or the guards, if he wrote that in your application, you couldn't come here.
Really?
It's like you had to have a clean record. Excuse me.
Wow. That's pretty strict. Did you have to go through a health exam also?
Oh God, yes. You had to get a clear bill of health.
They gave you some sort of bath when you went to England, didn't they?
Oh, that was another thing. When I went to England, we our way was paid, because they couldn't get coal miners, the people who work in the coal mines. Let's put that way. So we went to Dublin, and we stayed at the Globe Hotel, and they took us down at night time, and to the IV baths. They had these huge tubs, and they were filled with hot water. We were running around down there. It was a circus. They always made sure we were clean going over there. There was no dirt under our nails.
And they did that in Ireland before you went to England?
Yes.
The Isle of Wight is
in
where
Dublin,
in
yeah.
the Burren area?
In Dublin, yeah.
Oh no, okay, I'm thinking of different place.
Oh, that was when we went to Dublin,
So they said
And and another thing about it too, you're talking about, it took us 11 hours to go from Dublin to Liverpool.
by boat.
By boat, yeah. And there was this big box on deck. Be up on deck. It was in that time of the year. It was nice and warm. There was this big box with a tarp on top of it. I stretched out and I went to sleep in it. And you know what it was? It was a coffin. And they had
I was afraid you were going to say that.
yeah, and there was a stiff inside in it too. But when you're tired, I didn't realize it until afterwards. But you're not putting this in the thing, are you? Oh, Mother of Jesus Christ.
Oh. How long were you here in the States before you went back to Ireland for a
Oh,
visit?
geez, that was a good while. I was here. I came here in 1948. I didn't. 1961, I went back.
Wow. What had changed in those years when you got back to
Oh,
Ireland? What
yeah.
did you see was the biggest change?
The people. I thought it changed a lot, But other than that,
You almost didn't make it back. You had a bad car accident.
oh, I don't know, a bad accident 3 days before I came back too.
Back over from there, you had an accident in Ireland?
In Ireland, yeah.
Ooh.
And
And And they almost thought
we'll
your
forget about the cause of it, huh?
your plane went down. They thought your plane went down.
Oh, Jesus, we had, and you know the funny thing about it, it's a mystery in itself. That I was supposed to, Jerry Rooney tell you as much about it too. When I was leaving the Shannon Airport, they were listening to the news, you know. Well, mine was a chartered flight, you know. And there's a chartered flight went down over the Shannon. Oh, and everyone was in an uproar over it. Oh, Jesus, maybe it was me. But it wasn't. It was just the same, honest to God, yeah. That's why Jerry was down in the old club down on Fairfield Avenue, you know, and they heard it over the news, and they were going to he was coming down to pick me up, you know.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, he was going to bring Technora down and pick me up. And, well, geez, I made it, though.
How long was your visit when you went back? Did you stay for very long?
It's 6 weeks.
So it was a good long visit.
It
then,
was
yeah.
too long. I was often regretted it, to tell you the truth, because the kids were small when I left, you know, and you'd
Yeah.
think of that afterwards, you know, that Nora was here with the small kids. It wasn't easy either, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the kids were caught smoking, and they had to stay on the
Oh,
porch for 3
jeez,
weeks till they
yeah,
got back.
Really?
Oh, yeah. All right, I said, let's hear the bad news or the good news first. But I didn't say nothing to them. I said, because they didn't do anything I didn't do when I was their age, like, you know.
Did you take the family back at some point? Did you take the kids back?
Danny was with me. Then Nora went, you know, and she took all the kids with her, except Tommy. Tommy was never in Ireland, the eldest fella, because when they were going, he just had got a job in King Cole at the time, and he didn't want to quit the job, you know, and leave it, so he didn't. He lost out there.
And where did you say Nora had come from?
Cork.
Cork. Oh, I didn't even ask you that. So she was from Cork. Did
Yeah.
she have family here as well? In
Oh,
the
yeah.
country? Yeah.
Yeah, her uncle was, I telling you, was downtown
Yes.
with the policeman.
When she was getting married, her mother wrote out to ask about what kind of name was McInerny. She didn't know she
He
was
wanted to know if I was Irish, believe it or not. And of course, it wasn't a popular name down around that part of Ireland, you know.
Yeah.
But in Clare, every other one was McInerny, you know. Oh, jeez, and then my sister, her sister Joan, got married to John Yuknik. Yeah,
That's not an Irish
he
name.
was Polish, and when I went home, and her mother was curious as to, how come Joan didn't marry an Irishman. I said, would you like to know? She says, I'd love to know. I said, she couldn't find one that had stayed sober long enough to say I do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, what a laugh, huh?
Yeah. So
You never met him, he's a nice guy too, you know.
No, I don't think I did. So you didn't go back frequently then?
No,
go back
no,
home?
no.
No.
I lost a lot of interest in it, to be honest with you. Well, we went to Las Vegas 3 or 4 times, you know. And
When you go back, was it just not the same anymore?
I know it's not. Once the old folk pass away, that's it. It's not home anymore.
Yeah. Doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Is the house that you were born in still standing?
Oh yes,
Yeah, that's still being
it's
used?
it's empty though, because the nephews they built houses around it, you know.
It's a beautiful
But-
little thatched cottage.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, in fact, they were rethatching it when you were home one
Jeez,
day.
they were. From the last time I was home, they were thatching it.
And how long has it been since you were back?
That's a good question too.
20 years.
Huh?
About 20 years.
It's 20 years, I guess.
Wow, that's a long time. And your nephews were thatching. How would
Oh, they had a special thatcher, you know. I didn't everybody that was able to do that.
Yeah,
That's a trade, you know, and an expensive one right now.
it's hard with the insurance, isn't it? It's expensive. to
Well,
do.
it didn't, mind you. I didn't think it was. I inquired into that, and the funny thing about it, I never heard of one of them burning down in an attached roof.
You said with the windows, there weren't a lot of windows in the house because of the tax.
Oh, they had. Well, the reason the old houses, I don't know if you know this or not, if you read any little bit of Irish history, as we would call it, you know. The reason that a lot of houses, they had only one or two windows in it. And the reason for that was you paid a tax according to the amount of windows that was in your home. Wasn't that a strange thing?
So it was
And that's why when they were building them in years and years ago, you know, they didn't have the windows so that should eliminate paying any the taxes in them.
It's very interesting.
We came up under that. Well, we were lucky, you know, but my ancestors, they came under the British rules, in which wasn't the greatest in the world, you know.
You were gone before you saw the states as free as they are now in Ireland.
Oh God, yes. Oh sure, they have it made over there now.
The Celtic Tiger.
Gee, the Celtic Tiger, if it lasts. I know.
And you said one of your children has never even been to Ireland?
Yeah, the eldest one, my eldest son, Tom. He's going one of the days. I think he's going this year, I think.
That'd be good. If you ever went back to Ireland, what do you think you'd most miss about here? If you were sent back to live in Ireland, what would you miss here?
Oh, I'd miss a good life. That's what I'd miss. I don't think I'd ever live over there, to be honest with you.
Once you left, you really cut the connection.
Yeah, exactly.
How long were your mom and dad alive after you left?
Oh, my father, I left in 61.
He was gone then. Your father died in 1957.
1957.
By the time you went back, he had already was gone, yeah.
And my mother died in the 70s, was it? 73, I think.
Yeah. Was it hard being away from your mother and your father?
Well, no, not necessary. You know, we was able to force for ourselves, you know, since I was gone for a young age, like.
Yeah. When I'm in Ireland, I always love how the sky looks at night, when it's a clear night.
Did you ever notice that? And I thought that the sun was a lot lower on a fine day than it would be here, you know. Whether it's how it's situated in the map or not, I don't know, you know. But the setting sun is beautiful in Ireland, you know. You get that twilight now in the month of July. It'll be daylight until 12 o'clock. It'll be daybreak again about 2:30.
I know.
Oh, yeah. And 'twas the opposite in the winter time.
How long would it be dark and then light?
Oh, geez, it'd be dark around 4 o'clock in the evening. It'd be dark. It'd be dark until 7 o'clock in the morning, you know.
I can remember being there in February and it not getting light, really light, out until 8:30.
When were you back here, Peg?
When was I back last?
Last year.
A year ago. I'm going now in another week.
That's what I thought you were going. If you go down around Kinvara and ask them if they know anybody by my... They may not, mind you, too many, because the younger crowd wouldn't. Oh, everybody I went to that I knew actually is gone. I have done 3 people in the village now that I would know.
Wow.
Where I grew up.
Yeah. Is there any special story you'd like to